Good evening, Facebook friends and YouTube followers. This is Rich again, back for your second video blog of the day for Tuesday, January 6, 2015, around 5:23 p.m. in Billerica, Massachusetts. We had some snow showers today and snow flurries and a low snow squall, but it only amounted to about a coating to a half-inch. The plows just were out just to shovel it off and brush it off. It wasn't serious, but the real story is the bitter cold. Some news to report. The Toronto Maple Leafs fired head coach Randy Carlyle today, and also Bruins CEO Charlie Jacobs says the team performance this year so far has been unacceptable, and there's been rumors that the Boston Bruins are looking to trade Milan Lucic away. To tell you the truth, this might be a big mistake if the Bruins trade Milan Lucic away. He's a tough player, he's a good player, maybe he's struggling and stuff like that. But don't trade him away, in my opinion. If they do that, they're making a big mistake, and they probably, I bet you 2-1, Lucic will probably be a 50-goal scorer with another team if he gets traded. And that's about it on that. My next subject is about how my analysis on the 2015 Baseball Hall of Fame voting today. Today, Baseball Writers Association of America voted 4 players into the Baseball Hall of Fame. The 4 players that voted in were pitcher Randy Johnson. He got 534 votes, 97.9% of the vote. Pedro Martinez got 500 votes, 91.1% of the votes. John Smoltz got 455 votes, a pitcher, 82.9%. And Craig Biggio, catcher, second baseman, outfielder, 454 votes, 82.7% of the votes. 4 players got voted into the Hall of Fame by the Baseball Writers. This has never happened at all in close to 59 years. Randy Johnson, Pedro Martinez, and John Smoltz were on the ballot for the first time, and Randy Johnson and Pedro Martinez were locks to get into the Hall of Fame, no question about it. John Smoltz was kind of that guy. I didn't expect him to get this much of the vote. I thought he would be like maybe close to 75 or maybe just behind off out of the race for this year to get voted in, but I'm surprised. I think maybe because of the Atlanta Braves he was on and stuff like that he got on. And Craig Biggio, this is the 3rd time on the ballot, and he finally got in. He's the first Houston Astro to get voted into the Hall of Fame, so congratulations to him. 3rd on the ballot. 3rd time on the ballot. Congratulations. And these 4 players will be inducted into Cooperstown in July. Now, here's the players who did not get voted into the Hall of Fame. The top one who did not get voted in, who got the most votes, catcher Mike Piazza, 384 votes, 69.9% of the vote. Mike Piazza is the best offensive catcher in baseball history. And I predict next year, Mike Piazza will get 75%, 5% or more of the vote next year to get voted into the Hall of Fame. Because it's the next year's class is going to be who is up for the first time, Ken Griffey Jr. and Trevor Hoffman. Griffey's a slam dunk in my opinion, and Trevor Hoffman, I don't know if he'll get voted into the Hall of Fame on the first try. But Piazza's looking good. The next one is Jeff Bagwell, first baseman, 306 votes, 55.7%. Jeff Bagwell's been hovering around the 55, 56, 57% mark for a few years now. 5th time on the ballot. He has 5 more times to go, and he's stuck in neutral, and I don't like his chances to get a big boost to go into the Hall of Fame. Tim Raines, outfielder, 302 votes, 55% of the votes. He's still hovering around that area, and he only has 2 more chances to go to get voted into the Hall of Fame. He needs 20% of the votes in 2 years. That's going to be could be a monumental task, but it's possible. The next one is Curt Schilling, pitcher, 215 votes, 9.2% of the vote. He jumped from 29% last year, 10%, which is good. That's very good. If Curt Schilling needs another big bounce or two, this is the third year on the ballot for Curt Schilling. He has 7 more to go. If he makes another jump to like 50%, he could be on his way to the Hall of Fame by the Writers Associations. Here's the next ones. The 2 next ones. Roger Clemens, 206 votes, 37.5% of the vote. And Barry Bonds, 202 votes, 36.8%. They're still hovering around this mark that they are in the 30% of the vote. And Roger Clemens won 7 Cy Youngs, and Barry Bonds is baseball's all-time home run hitting king. And before 1998, if they retired, they would have been first ballot Hall of Famers. But with the suspected PED use for Clemens and Bonds, it's going to be real tough for them to get the 75% of the vote. And there's many writers who will never vote for Roger Clemens and Barry Bonds because they don't vote for players who has suspicions of using PEDs or on reports for PEDs and stuff like that. Next on the list is former closer Lee Smith, 166 votes, 30.2% of the vote, which is kind of disappointing for Lee Smith. He's dropping down. He has only 2 more chances to go for the writers because he was grandfathered in for the 15-year eligibility. Lee Smith has no shot of getting voted into the Hall of Fame by the writers. He's not going to make an amazing jump to 75%. The next one is Edgar Martinez, the greatest DH of all time, 148 votes, 27% of the vote. Edgar's dropping for like the writers to get into the Hall of Fame. This is his 6th year on the ballot. He needs 4 more to go before he gets removed, and I don't like his chances. Another one, Alan Trammell, shortstop, 138 votes, 25.1% of the votes. He's dropping. He's not going to get voted into the Hall of Fame by the baseball writers, which is a shame because Alan Trammell was one of the greatest shortstops in the game in the 80s, but he was kind of overshadowed by Cal Ripken Jr. and Ozzie Smith. Another one, Mike Mussina, 135 votes, 24.6% of the vote. He got a little bit of a boost, 4%. Maybe he'll get a bigger boost next year, and this is his 2nd year on the ballot. If he gets up to like a big boost like Curt Schilling got, he could be on his way to the Hall of Fame in due time. But he has only 8 more chances after this. Another one, second baseman Jeff Kent got 77 votes, 14%. This is shocking. He's settling around that mark he got last year, maybe a percentage down. This is very shocking. And with all the glut on the ballot or the backlog of good candidates, it's going to be tough for Jeff Kent to get voted into the Baseball Hall of Fame by the writers, and it's only 10 years, and this is very disappointing. Fred McGriff, Crime Dog, 71 votes, 12.9%. This is a disappointing that the writers are overlooking Fred McGriff. He had 493 home runs. He was 7 shy. He should have more votes, but the writers, there's so many good candidates, and they could only vote for 10. He's getting down, and it's a shame. He has only 4 more chances. He's not going to get voted into the Baseball Hall of Fame by the writers. Larry Walker, 65, 11.8% of the vote. Another one. He was a good candidate for the Hall of Fame, but he's spent most of the time in Coors Field. He's another one that's dropping. He's no shot to get into the Hall of Fame by the baseball writers. Next one, Gary Sheffield, outfielder, shortstop, designated hitter. He got 64 votes, 11.7%. I'm surprised he's still on the ballot. There was a lot of people were saying he could have been dropped from the ballot under 5%, but he had 500 home runs and stuff like that. That means something. But he's still suspicious of PEDs. 11.7% is a surprise, but I don't know if he's going to be jumping big time and stuff like that. Next one, Mark McGwire, 55%, 55 votes, 10%. Mark McGwire's votes are dropping down and down. And next year's the final year that Mark McGwire's on the ballot. He's got no shot of the Hall of Fame at all. It's disappointing because if he didn't admit he used steroids, he could have been in the Hall of Fame and stuff like that, but he did. It's such a shame. Don Mattingly, 50 votes, 9.1%. This is the 15th and final year of Don Mattingly's eligibility for the Hall of Fame. And disappointing that Don Mattingly never got consideration for the Hall of Fame because he had a great career, but it was injury shortened, and he wasn't good after like 1990. Very sad that his career went through a tailspin because if he wasn't hurt, Donnie Baseball would probably be a Hall of Famer. Sammy Sosa, 36 votes, 6.6%. Very surprised that Sammy Sosa still on the Hall of Fame ballot because there was projections he would be dropped from the ballot, which could happen next year. And the last one who's going to be on the ballot for 2016 as a surprise, shortstop Nomar Garciaparra, 30 votes, 5.5%. He just made the cusp. I'm very surprised because it was projections. He wouldn't even get the 5% to stay on the ballot. But I'm so happy. Nomar's still on the ballot for next year. Maybe he'll get a boost up a little bit, but I would not be surprised if Nomar Garciaparra is eliminated from the ballot next year. And there's other players who did not get the necessary votes, including Carlos Delgado, Troy Percival, Aaron Boone, Darren Erstad were the only players who got votes, but they didn't get enough votes. And there were 6 players who got 0. They're off the ballot permanently because if you get under 5% for the Baseball Hall of Fame ballot, you're removed completely. And that's about it on that. Next year's big candidates are Ken Griffey Jr. and Trevor Hoffman. Looking for 2017 will include Vladimir Guerrero, Irod, Ivan Rodriguez Pudge, also Manny Ramirez, Tim Wakefield, and Jason Varitek. 2018 will be Omar Vizquel, Jim Thome, and Chipper Jones. 2019 will include Mariano Rivera and Lance Berkman and Roy Halladay. In 2020, Derek Jeter, Adam Dunn, and Paul Konerko. And out of those players, I think the players who are first ballot Hall of Famers will be Griffey in 2016. 2018 will be Thome and Chipper Jones. 2019's probably Mariano Rivera. And 2020 is Derek Jeter. And I'll be back, Facebook friends and YouTube followers, for my third and final video blog of the night, which will be about game show host Wink Martindale. See you later, Facebook friends and YouTube followers. Bye now.